Are we on? Wonderful. So, hello and welcome to our AnanDao session. What we wanted to talk with you today is how to remove a main obstacle in healing tinnitus. Now, it might sound not so main, but believe me, we're going into detail and I'm sure you will agree with me. So, what I want to talk about is basically about our inner belief. Now, when we grow up in a Western society, as far as I remember, when I was a boy, whenever I was sick, when there was any kind of problem with my health, I remember my parents took me to the doctor. The doctor checked me out and he gave me a pill. And the pill always worked. So I had a great belief that just see the doctor, get your pill, and you get healing. Now, up until today, if I talk, for example, to my aunt, which is going to be 90 this year, the highest authority to her in terms of health and in terms of living is the home doctor. Now, unfortunately, time has moved on. We are in modern times, and modern times have created us modern sicknesses. Now, you know most probably all the ones which starting with 3 acronyms. Take ADD, ADHD and the likes, and also strange ones with one can hardly pronounce. Take fibromyalgia, or take tinnitus. Tinnitus hit me and I had no idea what I have. Absolutely no clue. So, unfortunately, for these kind of sicknesses, often we find no fix, no health recommendation from our home doctors and even from the specialists. In some cases, maybe you get some pharmaceutical treatment, and many times it leaves you with not exact healing, but managing the situation as it is. Take patients after a heart attack or after a stroke, which have to take pharma like forever, or take diabetes, this kind of thing. And the other one, very unfortunate, which there is no treatment at all. That's what I was told. And apparently, if you Google today, still from a Western medicine point of view, what we are told is there is no fix, there is no healing, nothing we can do. Now that almost leaves us with no chance, right? So in that situation, I believe we should consider alternative treatments, alternative ways. But there is kind of like a inner, I don't know, what should I call it? A rejection, a disbelief, doubts and whatever. So it's not a clear, straightforward way. Now, thinking about take acupuncture, take Ayurveda treatments, take Chinese medicine with all the herbs in general, for many sicknesses where you can hardly find a good solution in Western medicine, they provide good solutions. Take knee pains, in Germany, the health insurance is paying your needling for lower back pain and for knee pain. Why? Because statistically, it's the cheaper and the more successful version. So there are other sicknesses which the alternative medicine provides quite some ways. But as I said, we have a resistance. We don't exactly buying in. Now, why is that? And there I want to go a little bit to the root of, at least that's my understanding. And I want to go back, take us a little bit back into the Middle Ages. And you might think, now, oh, now he went completely ballistic. No, think about it. In the Middle Ages, the monks were the authority of healing because they healed via the higher force. And everybody else, which came with some kind of herbs or whatever, was in great danger to end up in a fire or this kind of thing, at least in jail or stuff like that. So you'll be a witch. Looking at that time, so doctors, even doctors had a very hard time, and their weapon to hit back was basically to prove with Western science that this is a logical approach to solve the problem. So therefore, if you talk to many Western doctors, they are very rejective of alternative medicine and consider many of those, if not all, as a, how can I say, close to charlatan. And if you go through the magazines every now and then, you can read titles like acupuncture, complete nonsense. Now that makes it hard for us to believe. But seriously, should we disregard 3,000 years of alternative natural treatment and the experience behind it, which created amazing systems like Ayurveda, like Chinese medicine, which has great logic and proved over hundreds and thousands of years to be effective and to be able to heal? Now let's think about that for a moment. Let me just grab a bit of water in the meantime. But what is our problem? One of the problems might be our expectations are very high. We want solutions in days, in weeks. And of course, the government should pay for it. Why should we pay ourselves? At least if I take Germany as an example, and many other countries, there is a high perception of, I paid my share, now they should heal me. Now that's not very helpful in that regard. So alternative treatment, often it takes a bit longer, it might be even more cost, but it also has a very natural, a very soft way of healing gradually. So I believe we should change a little bit our expectations on the one hand, and we should open this door to change our inner belief. If our inner belief is telling us you cannot be healed, then you simply cannot be healed. That's becoming a true statement. And I remember 2004, when I went the very first time to the middle of China, one of the first things my teacher told me is, let's put away a belief that a sickness cannot be healed. Because, as I just explained, you believe that, therefore it cannot be healed. So let's put that thought away. It can be healed. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe it takes some time. But let's not close that option. And secondly, what I think is a very important thought is Chinese medicine is coming with trying to bring your system in balance, in harmony. Which means, in contrary to Western medicine, and forgive me, I'm not saying here this is bullcrap or this is bullcrap. No. I believe the right thing at the right time, and the one who heals, he is right. So therefore, where the Western medicine is treating symptoms, the Chinese medicine is treating harmony and balance. There's a strong belief that if your body, your mind, your soul, whatever you want to call it, is in harmony, healing will come. There is no doubt about it. So therefore, if you take all of that into consideration, then our advice to pursue a healing would be as follows. Firstly, I think whatever you pursue, it should make sense. It should talk to your inner logic and kind of like give you assurance. Yeah, makes sense. That's something we can go through. Second, anything which has to do with tools, any kind of thing you can buy, a stick, a ball, a something which you can buy, is 9.9 out of 10 not useful for you. That's not helping in our experience. But anything which takes you and you have to do something with your body, with your mind, that is a great approach, I believe, because suffering from something like tinnitus is a very severe thing, and we strongly believe that many cases of tinnitus are the result of change in your life. At least that's what I personally experienced, and that's what I hear from many people. So it should be something where you are part of the process, you are taking charge, you are driving the thing according to the selected method. So that's very, very important. Change the inner belief, choose something which makes sense, take something which takes you with. Now, over and above that, one strategy which we pursue, you should keep in mind. Firstly, you should check your mental, your emotional state and see and understand what's really going on with you. Secondly, you should think of your physical, your energetical state of being. Do you have any energy? Is it easy for you to get out in the morning, out of bed? Stuff like that. In what state are you physically, energetically? And thirdly, what about your diet? What is it you eating every day? I'm sorry. So that are several fronts, several angles I would like, where I put tinnitus in the middle and attack from several kind of angles. Because there are so many different kind of cases. And unfortunately, many of us are very, very different. And that's another point that Chinese medicine and Ayurveda taking very nicely into account. Not everybody ticks in the same way. So I hope as a first live session that gave you some insight in our thinking, and we will continue with that. Parallel, we're working on a webinar which will be live approximately in 2 weeks. So if you are interested in that, please let us know. And in that, I will reveal my understanding, how I might say, I know there are some skeptics out there, I managed to heal myself in, must have been something like 5 to 6 months, completely. So I want to strengthen your belief it is possible. Things can be done. So, as I said, in approximately like 2 weeks, we're coming up with a webinar, and would very much like you to have you in that, to share our thoughts, but more than that, reveal what is my understanding after healing it, what is your strategy, what is our strategy, which we took to achieve healing. So, hope you enter into a great weekend, and thank you for your attention. My name is Ralph from AnanDao.